Well, hello again. It's time for an update on my Scrapyard Diorama. I've not done much to it since the last video. All I did, I've added some bits of grass here and there. These little tufts of grass around the edges. I put them around the place, down here, along the edges to make it a bit more vegetation. Make it look a bit more overgrown. There's some car parts I've scattered around the place as well. Those aren't glued in place, they're just in there loose. We've got some doors, a bumper and some wheels. And yeah, so that's how it's looking at the moment. It's a dry stone wall. So it looks a bit better with a bit of grass, a bit of vegetation here and there. But what does it look like with the cars it put in place? I've finished most of the cars. There we are, a pile of cars all finished, ready to go on the scrapyard. So I'll put them on the scrapyard now and we'll see what they look like. See how it looks with the cars in the yard. Well, here we are. The cars are in the scrapyard. And let's just get some shots of this. Looks pretty cool, I have to say. I'm very pleased with that. Here we have the Hillman Hunter sitting on top. I'm using the torch as well because although it's a bright sunny day, the light in this room is not very good. Maybe I don't need the torch, I don't know. But yeah, so we've got the Hillman Hunter there and the Woody, what is that, the Ford Cortina Woody Estate. We've got the Range Rover, the London Taxi, a Lancia and the Capri, the Tornado and the Commer van, the Jaguar and the minivan, two minis over there, pile of spare parts. We've got the Caravan, which if you can see has now become an office. So that's the office where you go to pay for parts and all that. The Morris Minor is here. And we've got two Triumph Heralds and a coupe on the top. We've got a Mini Traveller, a Mini Countryman I think it's called, isn't it, the Mini Countryman, with an MGB on top. My voice is going, I don't know why. The other Commer van there, the A35 on top of a Jaguar Mark X, and you haven't seen this one since I repainted it. This is the Ford console. I repainted it purple with a white roof. I put a windscreen pillar on it because it was missing one, and there's the Corvair underneath it. So that is the collection of cars. I'm going to turn the torch off again. Yeah, my idea for this scrap has slightly changed. Originally it was just going to be a farmer's field where he dumped his old cars and just abandoned them amongst the grass and the weeds, but now it's become a proper scrapyard with a little office. I've weathered the roof on that as well, so that looks better than it did before. And usual scrapyard thing, you just go around amongst the pile of cars and find what bits you want. So yeah, let's have a look from a different angle. It's not easy to get this with my phone actually, because the phone's the wrong shape for getting up close. But yeah, I've finished weathering all these cars, so yeah, there's the Hillman Hunter. That was the rally one, but I've repainted it as a normal car. This Mini, I've not done anything with it because it's a Mini with the early wheels, so I don't want to mess around with that. So that's just as it is. But I wondered if I'd have more space for more cars, and I think I definitely have. So that's good because I've got some more, got some parcels there, and there's a few more. There's about 3 more cars in there for the scrapyard, so that's good. I'm going to probably stop ordering more cars for the scrapyard though, because I think it looks pretty good as it is. I'll just show you a couple of cars. I'll lift that one out. That's the taxi. If you have a look at that, if you can see, I've done a bit more weathering on that. I've got some rust effects on it, some rust streaks, which I'm quite pleased with how they look. Looks really good, I think. Quite realistic. Yeah. Bit of rust on the radiator grille. Rust on the rear wheel arch. I didn't put the rear bumper back on, but I think, well, it looks alright without it, to be honest. So that's that. This is a Corgi thrush buster, if I can say it. The Man from Uncle car. Yeah. It was already bashed in and pretty wrecked, so that became a stock car, a banger racer. Not very good bit of paintwork on it, but you know, it's the best I can do, really. It's got dual headlights in the back, I think. Maybe not. No, it's just painted headlights. There's the Capri. I might have gone a bit over the top on the rust effects on that, but that's that anyway. So that's the Scrapyard. Looks pretty good. I'm quite happy with that, and the cars aren't glued in place, but yeah, this is the console. It had no paint on it when I got it, so I repainted it purple. Looks quite good. The bonnet opens as well, and I think I've got another one of these in one of those boxes. So, because it's such a stylish looking, well, it's love it or hate it styling. I mean, it's pretty ugly, isn't it, with that rake back rear window, but yeah, it's certainly different, isn't it? So there's the Corvair. I'll try and get you a better shot. Yeah, so we've got an MGB and the Corvair there. Yeah, that's how it's looking at the moment, but it's missing something, isn't it? What is missing from this scene? I mean, yeah, we've got a car there. There's definitely two. If it's a proper scrapyard and not just a farmer's field, it needs some proper service vehicles. For instance, what are you going to use? Yeah, I've got my finger in the lens there. What are you going to use to bring the cars into the yard in the first place? You need some kind of recovery truck. Try and keep my finger out the lens. So have a look at this. This is my recovery truck. It's a Corgi Toys. Yeah, Corgi Majors Burliette wrecker truck. I've looked at pictures of these trucks online, and they don't seem to have these big bucket headlights. I don't know why Corgi put these headlights on this truck, but I might remove those because most of them seem to have the headlights in the bumper, so they might come off at some point. But it's really nice. It's got the same recovery gear on the back as the old Holmes wrecker. So it's got 2 jibs and 2 hooks. Yeah, I mean, it's not pro. I mean, I haven't seen one of these trucks in real life, I don't think. And yeah, the headlights probably need to be removed because I don't think they're meant to be. I don't know. The pictures I've seen, they don't have headlights that big on them, but yeah, I mean, I don't remember seeing these trucks around when I was a kid or anything, but it's just really cool. That's why I got it. It's different. It's really, really cool. It looks the business. It's really nice. It's a bit chipped up, but that's fine. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm not going to repaint it. Just have that as it is for moving cars around the yard. Well, no, it's not for moving cars around the yard. It's for bringing cars into the yard. That's what that's for. So we can play cars a little bit. Let's have a go. So yeah, see it reverse. It's got space to move into the yard and move out a bit. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. I really like that. Very happy with that one. It's really nice. Well, I think so anyway. Sort of adds to the scene a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. Right, something else to show you as well, because that's the recovery truck to bring vehicles into the yard. So that's what that is. But how do you move the cars around the yard? How do you get the cars stacked up on top of one another? How do you get them down? When you want to move the cars around the yard, how do you do that? Well, that's where the other vehicle comes in. I'll show you that. So this is my dinky Jones Fleetmaster crane, because you need a crane to move vehicles around the yard. It's got the hook on it. It's not in perfect condition. There's a seat that should be in there mounted at the back of the cab, and that's floating around loose because it's come out. But yeah, this is a really nice model. Excuse the squeaky tyres on the wooden surface. Yeah, the handle's broken off a bit, but it still works. It's got that spare wheel bit. There's a proper look at it. So yeah, that's really nice. And I'll just set it up, see if I can do this with one hand. Because what you've got this fold up boom here. I'll show some pictures of the real. I've got some pictures of the real crane it's modelled on, which I can show you a bit later on. Actually, I'll show you them here. Just have a look at these pictures of the real vehicle. And so how this works, the boom is hinged, so it swings around like this, and it locks into place, like so. And I'll see if I can set it up so I can put a car on it, because filming this, I haven't, as you know, I haven't got a stand for my phone, so trying to wind it up is going to be quite tricky. I'll see if I can set it up with a car on it, and because the idea was I'd have it parked at the side and you could sort of have it lifting up. And it will lift up actually, there you go. If you can see what I'm doing, if I point the camera in the right direction. So there we go, I thought you could park it down the side of the scrapyard down here, and you can move cars around that way. So, because the boom's a bit too big to go, you know, if I put it in the yard, it's probably going to be, yeah, it extends a bit too far. But you know, it's a fictional scrapyard, so probably it's on a bit of land. They probably own the land around the outside, so they can drive the crane around the outside, park it outside, and use it to move cars about. So I'll put a car on the hook. Let's put the recovery truck back, and see if I can do this. Just hang on a second. Right, so here we go. We have got a car on the crane. Show it from ground level. It might look a bit, I'm having to hold it because it's whoa, the weight of it is quite strong, and it's missing a cable. But you get the idea, don't you? So yeah, you can move your cars around there on the yard, like so. Knock the other ones down. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll try it with another. There we go. Just lowered that down there. So it does the job. I'll try it with another car as well. Hang on a minute. Right, I've just moved a few cars around just for a bit of variety. So the cars have changed position slightly. That's the beauty of this. You can do what you like with it. Really move the cars where you really want them, and change the look of it a little bit. Anyway, so we've got the crane set up for another lift. We'll see if we can lift this minivan up. Can we lift up the minivan? Let's have a go. I have to do it with my arm, so is it going to work? Let's have a look. What do we think? Oh no, the hooks fell out. The hook's worn out. Hang on. Let me try that again. Oh, it might be going to lift it. It's turned it around. No, the hook came out. Right, attempt number 2. Let's see how it goes. Come on, lifty, lifty, lifty. No, it's not going to do it. It is going to do it. It is going to do it. Yes, it is. There we go. Way, there we go. Let's move the mini around, and we can put it down. Where should we put it? Let's just put it down there. That'll do. In its new position. There we go. So that's pretty cool. So that's my crane. I just wanted to share a couple of things that happened when I worked in a scrapyard years ago, back in 1988, a long time ago. before I even started driving. I was still learning to drive, but I hadn't passed my test. I had a job working in a scrapyard because I thought working in a scrapyard would be very cool, you know, messing around with old cars and, you know, breaking cars up. It would be great fun, but it turned out it was a rubbish job. It was awful. It was the worst job I've ever had, before or since. I was only there for 2 weeks. They sacked me for something they said I'd done that I hadn't done, but I didn't care because I was glad to leave, because I absolutely hated the job. It was all, well, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. They gave me this job. The first job they gave me when I first started was cleaning out the toilet, which was really nice. So that was how it sort of went from there. Then they told me to go, what I spent my days doing those 2 weeks was driving a little site dumper around the site. There was a little smelly diesel site dumper that was horrible, made a really loud noise, and it's, you know, when you went home from work you could hear the noise in your head, because it was no air defenders or anything, no health and safety, nothing like that. Anyway, so I spent my days going around the yard picking up rubbish. They said, go around the yard and pick up all the bits of rubbish, keep it looking tidy. But it's a scrapyard. There was broken glass, tyres, mud, puddles, grease, oil everywhere. How do I know what's rubbish? It's like that pile of parts there, you know, it was a bit like that. What's rubbish and what is a part that's worth something? I don't know. So that's what I was doing. But one job they did give me, they didn't have a crane like this, but they had a Ford D series truck. It was ex-Glamorgan Council. They had Welsh language writing on the cab. It had a high-ab crane on the back. No bodywork. It was a short wheelbase D series, no bodywork on the back, but it had a high-ab crane on it, and they used that for moving the cars around the yard and stacking the cars up. Funny story. One time the other guys were using it, and they were trying to lift this Fiat. It was an orange Fiat 131 Mia Fiore Sport, and it was so rusty. They tried to lift it, and the roof pillars gave way. The sills split. It was absolutely full of rust, and the whole thing collapsed when they tried to lift it. That was quite funny. It was a car like this. I'll show you some pictures. It was one of these cars. Yeah, it was rusty as anything. They tried to lift it and the roof couldn't support the weight of the car, and the whole thing just collapsed. That was funny. But what wasn't so funny once, I got the job of driving the truck once to move some engine blocks around the yard. So that was quite cool, because I hadn't actually passed my test. I was still learning to drive. I hadn't actually passed my test. I was still learning to drive at the time. So they gave me this job. Oh yeah, you can move these, drive the truck. I thought, yeah, that's good. I don't mind doing that. Can you move these engine blocks from one side of the yard to the other? There were some engine blocks they wanted moving, and yeah, they were jolly heavy. Some of these engine blocks. There was. So I'm just going to put the phone down because it's making my hand tired holding it. So yeah, it wasn't a crane like this. It was just a high-ab crane on the back of a D series Ford. And yeah, move these engine blocks from one side of the yard to the other. So okay, I think I moved a couple of small engines without too many problems. But then they had this Jaguar engine. It was massive. I don't know if it was a V12 or a V8. I suspect it was a V12 because it weighed a ton. Big heavy engine block. I got it on the crane, you know, put a chain around it, got it lifted, drove the truck across the yard, and then when I came to unload it, I swung the arm around because there was no health and safety. No one trained me on how to do this, so I had to just sort of try it for myself. You can drive, yeah, you can drive. Then yeah, you can drive the truck, you know. And no one showed me how to use the crane either. I just pulled the levers and worked it out for myself. So, being the idiot I am, well, not an idiot. I just didn't really think about it. I swung this arm around to move the engine block around. And as the arm swung round with this Jaguar engine hanging off it, the weight of it started to tip the truck. The whole truck started to tip towards me. The whole thing was starting to lean over in my direction. Fortunately, I was quick enough to put the lever the other way and send it back the other direction, back away from me. Basically I'd forgotten to put the stabilisers down. This model's got stabilisers there. I forgot to put those down, so the whole weight of the engine, there was nothing to stop the truck tipping over, and it scares me to this day. I stopped it. I did put the stabilisers down, and it all worked out right in the end. But it still worries me it still frightens me now, thinking about it, because I very nearly died. I could have seriously been killed doing that. No health and safety. It was really dangerous, and it's only by the grace of God I'm still here to tell the tale. So, yeah, it was pretty frightening. But yeah, that's Robert's Tales from the Scrapyard. So. Yeah, anyway, so that's enough of that. Yeah, I've just got a couple other things to tell you. Yeah, just something else I wanted to add, a bit of extra interest. If you're interested in scrapyards and junkyards, I would definitely recommend a guy on YouTube, a channel called Adventures Made from Scratch. Adventures Made from Scratch is a guy called Silas. He runs a junkyard, scrapyard in the States. I think he's in Kansas, and he gets lots of really interesting old 50s and 60s farm trucks in there, and he gets some old American cars, and the newer stuff he crushes in the crusher, and he makes some really interesting videos. So definitely check out Adventures Made from Scratch, because what he also does, he does wall art. So he gets 1950s trucks, 1960s trucks or cars, cars from the 70s, and anything with an interesting front end. He'll cut the front end off with an angle grinder. He slices the front end off, and he sells it as wall art, which I think is a big thing in America, because you can get a front end of a pickup truck or something and mount it on the wall in a bar or a restaurant. It probably looks quite cool. I've always wanted to get one of those fronts, but trying to buy it from him, it would be expensive, and shipping from America to the UK would be a lot of money. But I found something on eBay the other day and I bought it. So so yes, I wanted a front end off an American car, but this guy in America, I mean, if I was to order one of those from America, it would get damaged in transit. It would cost a fortune. And I've got this Land Rover grill on my wall, and I've got a Alfa Romeo grill on my wall, and I was eBay browsing the other night, and I stumbled across something that I ended up winning and buying, and it's this. Look at that. It's the front end off an American car. This is, the license plate's wrong. It's got the wrong license plate on it. It says truck, and obviously that is a car. It's a Mercury. This is the front end off a 1978, well, it might be 1980. It's a Mercury Monarch, which was a compact car by American standards, but still pretty big. And it was made between 1975 and 1980. This particular model with the square headlights is the one that was made between 1978 and 1980, the last 2 years of production. So yeah, I bought this off a guy selling it on eBay. He previously had it on a wall in his car showroom. He had a car showroom, and they had this mounted on the wall because it's got mounting brackets on the back. So it's actually set up to go on the wall. So the top part slides onto mounting points. I won't show you, it's a bit of a mess. Well, it's not a mess, but you probably can't see down there very well. Yeah, they welded some brackets on there, so it will go on the wall. But look at this, it's even got the orange reflectors on the front as well. So yeah, I'm well chuffed with that. It's so good. It's missing the little hood ornament thing, unfortunately, but yeah. So that's my that's my American car front end. I've got to work out where I'm going to put it now. And I've got a couple of ideas, but I need to work it out because I don't want to leave it on the floor there. Because once I put the furniture back, you can't see it, and what's the point? If you can't see it, there's no point having it, is there? So yes, I shall work that out, and if I get it mounted up somewhere nice, I might show you it again. But that's that. That's what I bought anyway. Yeah, well, parking's a bit tight in the yard, but we've got them in there. There's the Birdiette recovery truck and the 4D series crane, although there's not enough space to straighten that out without hitting something. Maybe, oh yeah, I might go. That's it. Something like that. So there we go. I'll just show you, pan out a bit. I think you've probably seen it now. There we go. That's the scrapyard as it is. If there is any more updates, I'll share them with you. But I think the next video will be next scrapyard video will be 1/64 scale Matchbox and Corgi Junior's cars in the yard, and we'll see how that looks, because you can get a lot. I'll get a lot more cars that scale in there. So yeah, but I'm so pleased with this. I think I'm going to leave this video with some still photos. I'll take some still photos, and if you want to look at those, that's great. If you don't, then thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Cheers. Bye.